honey, no place, child.
Well, good evening, everyone. Let me tell you, I am super excited about tonight's live because we are actually right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, exactly where it is going to take place at in September the 23rd through the 25th, right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where we know that all things are possible if you believe. This year, we know we believe in bigger, we believe in better, and we're believing in what all God is going to have in store for us. So let me tell you, today has been amazing. We've made so much groundwork. We've had boots on the ground. We've done so many things, and yet we are constantly believing bigger, bigger, and better. So if you see us looking a little different tonight, it's because we are coming live. No excuses. We can easily say, no, we're not going live tonight because we have so many things to do. But what we do have to do is deliver this message to you here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Let me tell you, just today alone, there's been so many confirmations, and I know you see it. You see why you need to be at Impulse Summit, why you need to be in the building, why you need to be on the grounds, why you need to plant a seed inside of good ground. And this evening, you're going to find out why. If you are around and you see someone that needs to be a part of this live, go ahead and tap them in and say, I think you need to join in on this live today because dot. And they can fill in the blanks about what we're about to talk about and who we are about to talk about today. So let's go ahead and start. So every single person that's going to come on this live this evening has already been in Impulse Summit. They've already placed a seed inside of Impulse Summit. They already believe in Impulse Summit. And so now we want to let you all hear it from their mouth as to why they want to come back again to Impulse Summit. This first young lady that I'm going to be bringing on to the screen is right here with us, matter of fact. You know, she's right here. And she's an individual that definitely know what it means to come in to play. And this young lady is none other than Miss Kai Smith, and she is the proud reveal partner for Impulse Summit 2023. So we want to thank Miss Kai Smith for being a proud reveal partner with Impulse Summit. And then we also have another person that believes in us even more, and this young lady is from AT&T. And when I tell you they both believe in all the things that we're doing, how we are doing it, why we are doing it, and who we are doing it with. So let me just go ahead and say who is going to join us today for Impulse Summit. Who is going to join us when it comes to believing bigger, bigger, and better? So this first young lady I'm going to bring to the screen is the young lady that's a color master. When I tell you she knows color and she knows it strong, and yet she is ready to reveal to you all the things that it has to offer. Y'all please welcome none other than Miss D. Clay.
Hello,
Now, along with
everybody.
D, hey D. So, along with Miss D. Clay, we have two gentlemen that's been making it work every year, and so we're not. This year is not going to be any more different. They're coming even better. You know, they dust off some things. Got some things to talk to you about. So, this gentleman here is coming in. We actually went to cosmetology school together. His heart is big as gold. And you will see why he comes back over and over again, because he pours out not just his knowledge in cutting or color, but his knowledge of people and how he loves people. Y'all, please put your hands together for none other than Mr. Joe Edwards.
What up? What up? What up, big baby? We ready. We ready.
What's going on? Y'all, he trying to look like Joe. It's okay. We're going to have a concert tonight. So I got Tamala Man. I got Joe Edwards. And then this next person I'm going to be bringing to the stage is a gentleman that has been with us. And when I tell you his knowledge of increase, when he said increase 10% every day, 10% every day is what he taught us in the last couple of years. And I know by now he has grown 365% because he's been doing it all year round. Y'all, please welcome to Impulse Summit, none other than Mr. Michael Cole himself.
Hello, hello, family. It is so good to be back with y'all.
Yes. So let's get with it. So you all have been with us for the last 5 years, some of you all 4 years, 3 years, and every year we see you all increasing bigger, bigger, and better. Let me start with you, Mr. Joe. What is it that you are looking forward to the most to bring to Charlotte, North Carolina?
What I'm looking to for the most is really the aspect of, again, camaraderie. It's almost like a family reunion. It's almost like a convention of sorts where we can come together and iron will sharpen iron. Everyone are great elite educators, and we're also all great students as well. I learn so much every single year that I come. So it's almost like you work hard to be there the next year because you can't fall by the wayside. And there's so many great educators. Mr. Michael Cole, he be there. We doing what we doing because we really love it.
Yes,
We absolutely really love being there. This is the one I look forward to. And I'll just say this for you because of the origin of it. The spiritual background, I'm gonna say it, the Jesus background,
yes,
the belief background, the Christianity, not as a aspect of religion, but the spiritual. So you were laughed at. They said you couldn't, but you just shown over and over again when you trust God, um, what can happen. And so for me, it's like in Detroit, we have this holy convocation where everybody kind of come and this is what it is for me. It's a
mhm,
place where I can kind of also get revived as a stylist. And so people are so much, everybody wants to say what they say, but everybody's afraid to say the word Jesus. Okay.
that's it. That's
And
it. We are
so
not afraid,
you're not
right?
afraid. And so nobody's sensitive and you know what you're walking into. So, you know, again, that little girl is a testimony for y'all.
Yes.
Last year I couldn't make it because she almost, she was in a terrible, terrible car accident.
Mm.
And so that's what I look forward to. Our industry sometimes can be so fulfilled with really weak stuff, so to speak,
Mm.
or artificial things. And we're human beings as well. And so I come to get fed too, so I can bring
Mm.
it back.
I like it.
So that's
And
what I'm.
so I look forward to seeing you this year because we missed you last year, but we
Yeah.
totally understand. Mr. Michael Cole, I know that you're joining us. You've been with us in Columbia, South Carolina, right? And now you are coming to Charlotte, North Carolina with us. What is it that you look forward to the most bringing to Impulse Summit?
Well, I tell you what I look forward the most is watching people's lives be changed through the course of 3 days together. It is really incredible to see people have those light bulb moments when something you say or something someone else says, it really clicks with them. And you can tell that that's the thing that they're going to take home with them. The other thing that I'm really excited about is having a triple repeat of being best dressed at the Cream and Green because you know I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to win it again.
I love it. I love it. So, this is just some icebreakers before we get into the real deal. Miss D. Clay, what is it that you look forward the most to bring to Impulse Summit?
I look forward to all the camaraderie. It's everyone is there not for their own agenda, but to help uplift others. Not just the educators who come to Summit, but the attendees come to give to everybody. The connections that are made, not just at that time, that last throughout the year, and for the fact that when we go in the place, we know that God is already there. As Joe was saying, not any other summit or anywhere else do you know when you go in that God is in the house. And with Impulse Summit, the spirituality is all there, not just the education, but to know how to get educated and closer to God with the purpose that we have. And the fact that each year that we come back, and each year, as you say, we get bigger, bigger, and better. It's an amazing thing to watch God at work as we work with others.
I like it. Mr. Michael Cole, I was asked a question today, right? And they was asking, what is your why?
Mm.
What is your why for the things that you do? And just explain what you do, how you do it, who you do it
Yeah.
for. But what is your why?
So that's a great question, and if we had 20 minutes, I'd really dive into it. So I'm going to keep it high level here. My why is simple. I want to be the premier financial advisor and business planner for the beauty industry. And the reason that I want to do that is because I feel like this industry is largely underserved by people in my industry, in the beauty industry. And I came into that because I own a barber shop, right? Don't judge me by my haircut, right? I don't cut hair, I cut checks. That's what I
Right, right,
do.
right. I like it. I like it.
So, and if you can't have hair, make money on people that do. So,
I like that.
so yeah, so I just keeping it real, So I came up for air about 2 years ago and just realized, you know what, I own a barbershop, I have clients in the beauty industry. I should really do this with some intentionality. And I love my barbers, I love my staff, I love the people in this industry, but I know that painting with broad brushstrokes, like they're not great with money. And so I feel like that's a place that I can come in and have some impact and serve this community well through education and good guidance.
I like it. I like your why. And I know a lot of people, if you're tuned in tonight, you notice his passion. And that's what I love is that you're constantly digging deeper into your profession and to also other people's profession. What causes you to keep digging? A lot of times people will get to a certain level and they stop. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm good. I saved a lot of lives. I saved a lot of souls. I don't need to help nobody else. What is it that keeps you digging for results or keep you digging? Because I see your company won an award not too long. Yesterday, I think you posted that. What is it that keeps you digging into what you do?
Well, what keeps me going is I believe the good Lord created me to serve, right? And gave me a passion and a heart of service. And so I know that I'm really only happy when I'm doing good work to serve other people well, right? That's fundamentally the way I'm built. And so I have a passion for serving my clients well and helping people take the next step, whether that's creating generational wealth, mitigating risk in their business, um, designing an exit plan to get from behind the chair, whatever that looks like. That's my passion. That's what I want to help people do. I want to help them live the best versions of their life. But yeah, I thank you for bringing it up, Micheline. I'm just very proud of the organization that I associate with, Northwestern Mutual. They were recognized for their diversity and inclusion. We have one of the most diverse team of financial advisors in the industry, if not the most diverse team of financial advisors in the industry. I am the prototypical financial advisor. I'm a middle-aged white dude, right? But I'm proud to say that I have people that I work with and I work alongside of that are representative of the people that we serve. And I think that's so important. It's so important that when someone wants to seek financial advice, that they know that there are people out there who look like them and have similar backgrounds to them that they can relate to. I feel like I can relate to anybody, but that's not a fair statement, right? It's just like a good barber. I tell everyone, if
Right.
you have a bad experience with a barber, it probably just wasn't the right barber for you, right? You probably just didn't sync with them. You didn't connect with them. And it's true in my industry as well. You have to work with a financial advisor that you connect well with. And so it's important that we're representative of the people that we serve.
I like it. I like it. So, D. Clay, the risk. I heard Mr. Michael say risk, and in your profession, the things that you do, because you're a color specialist, what is it that people are so afraid of? What is that risk that they're not willing to take, and how can you improve them on saying, take the risk, take the step, and watch what's going to happen?
Well, the first thing is I find that what happens is the fear. People allow the fear of color to actually get in their way more than anything else. So what I like to do in my class is first try to remove that fear from them by giving them the facts and the properties they need. Because color, in all actuality, it's just nothing but formulas. And once you learn that formula, you can do any color you want on the earth. So we just got to get you past that fear. And God has blessed me with the ability to be able to speak with people and give them an understanding on how to break the color down. So that's what we do in the class. My class is about toning. And I know lots of times now we're doing a whole lot of lifting and just depositing colors. But when we want some colors that don't need just to be straight deposit, we don't know how to get those unwanted colors out. So we want to give you the principles to teach you how to do that, regardless if you're darkening, if you're lightening. We want to remove that fear that we have of color, because color is the most wonderful playground you can ever play in.
I like it. And so, with what you're talking about and what Mr. Joe is going to be talking about is cutting, right, Joe? What is it that risk that people are because on the screen here's a wealth of knowledge, but
Mhm.
on the screen we must touch and agree that so many people have a risk in all aspects, whether it's going in financially, whether it's going in with color, whether it's going in cutting. What is it that you're saying? Come, jump, and stop being scared.
It's the fear of making mistakes. One of the best things that you can do is make a mistake because you know not to do it again. You know that doesn't work. I think that a lot of times people come in and they'll see us on stage or in the class teaching it, and they'll feel like we were just born to do it. We were born to do it, but we also made mistakes along the way. So it's fear, and it's also the lack of education. I don't mean to step on toes. I think that social media is a great thing when you subscribe and you have the right educators behind it teaching you step by step things, but for the most part, YouTube University is not where you will learn how to cut hair or grow a clientele. Just because they have 10,000 people following them does not mean you understand.
I got it.
So
I got it.
I think that people have to be willing to invest in themselves as well, and so that is what it is for me. Learn what it is. Why are we parting this way? Why are we over directing? Why do we have a concave? Why are we doing convex? Why is it 100 degrees, 180 degrees? Why are we doing these things? People need to learn how to ask why instead of just watching and hoping that it falls that way.
I like it. So listening to this, Mr. Michael, let's say this. If you was to think of five things, five mistakes that people have done, what would those five things be?
5 mistakes people have done. Wow, you're putting me on the spot with that one. I'll give you what I can off the top of my head. I'd say
Gotcha.
number one is waiting too long.
Mm,
I think that people wait too long, and then they get caught in a cycle of, well, what can I do now? I've waited too late to start planning for retirement to mitigate this risk or do whatever it is. And I think that one of the best things I've ever heard was the best day to start preparing for retirement was yesterday. The
mm,
second best day is today. Right. So
right
I
now.
would say that's number one. Number two is, and I'm just going to tag on to something Joe said, which is seeking out information from folks who are not professionally licensed advisors. And so just like y'all, right, you're fully licensed for your craft. You're fully licensed for the art that you do, for the work that you do. Same here. I'm a fully licensed financial advisor. I have the background checks. I have like compliance oversight. I am not making YouTube videos giving people advice that's totally out of context with their personal situation and projecting it like it's the end all be all solution for them. So going back to what I saw my man Lee post earlier, which is YouTube University, that's not it, right? You talk to a professional, get your advice from a professional, just like you would expect your clients to come get advice from you. I think that's two big ones. I could
That
keep
is, that
going.
is. That's it, because we're gonna save the rest of the three for your class, okay? So let you know, right? So we're just gonna say that YouTube University. That's right. That's number one. And I don't see how anyone could go to YouTube University and say, "Help me save money." The realistic part of it is that they got to sit in all of our chairs, and they got to be able to sit in the seats of Impulse Summit to get this information. And what they're failing to do sometimes is think that it's not obtainable. Like, if D is formulating color, right? And so many people say, I want gray hair. I want gray hair. Everybody want gray hair. I say go in front of a bus, you'll get it real quick. I got a couple on right now with just, see what's going on. But everyone wants it, but they don't understand the formula portion of it, the formula portion of how you can achieve what you're looking for and still get it. We got a beautiful queen just joined us. How can they still get it? So Ms. D, fear of color, the risk management, the fear of making a mistake. What is that?
Well, first of all, I think something we have gotten away from in the salon is using mannequins. And I think it's very important, even though I am quote unquote a color specialist, I keep mannequins to go in and try different colors to see what's going on. That would help to alleviate the fear, because once you go in and make that mistake on that mannequin, as Joe said earlier, when you make that mistake one time, you're not going to make it again. So you have to dive in and continue to try and practice on those mannequins. And again, also going back to the basics. Color law is the basis of everything you want to achieve in color. You can do different techniques, but if you don't know how to achieve that color with those techniques, you're not going to achieve what you're looking for at the end. So go back to the basics. They're very important to know your law of color, to know your tertiary, your primary, your secondary colors, to know what's going to cancel them out. It's all just basically the color law, and it doesn't really matter if you're coloring hair, if you're painting a picture, you're painting a car, you're painting a house. The color law is universal. So we need to go in and focus on those areas, but utilize those mannequins. Just because we're out of school don't mean, and remember, the mannequins ain't gonna sue you.
That's it. They're not gonna say nothing to you. So, Kendra, welcome to the seat of Mpulse Summit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm gonna ask you this, Kendra, since you are here with us today, right? You look amazing. Back to the basics. I heard Dee say back to the basics. I've seen you do a reset button. I've seen you start back over. What is it that people are so afraid of hitting that reset button and just starting over? But I've seen you do it not one time, but I've seen you do it 2 times. You probably did it more than that before I even knew you. What is that keep you hitting that button? What is that thing?
Well, first of all, I want to say good evening, everybody. You may hear a little noise in the background. Please forgive me. I didn't get a chance to make it home. I'm in Miami, so you might hear a little bit back and forth.
Oh, you're trying to make us jealous.
I'm not trying to make you jealous.
It's okay.
But you know what? Reset button for me, I think it needs to happen. A lot of times we get stuck in a certain environment, and we get stuck in a certain position in our lives and in our businesses, and it gets stale. And I understand that, yes, we have to continue to be consistent on the same thing over and over again. But there's those times when God says, I need you to shift. And I need you to shift over here because there's something that I need you to get. And I need other people to be touched by what you have. And if you stay in that same environment, or you stay in that same situation, or that same business model, or that same business structure because you think that's where you're supposed to be, you may have missed your season, and the people that you're supposed to reach aren't getting what they need. So I just recently did another shift, and I don't do a whole lot of shifts. And normally my business structure stays the same, but God, he kind of changes the people that I'm supposed to touch. So this recent shift that I've done, he's telling me to help people to reposition. A lot of people are stuck in the shift, and he's kept me on that for a while, being stuck in the shift. And it's time to reposition, and it's time to get back to the original calling that he has for your life, right? So I had to go through a series of things, and I'm also a believer that we have to go through certain things in order to push other people, because if we don't understand what we're teaching other people by not experiencing it, then it's really null and void. You're just really talking textbook. You have to talk experience. And that's pretty much what happened with me. I went through a traumatic experience over the past 2 years. And at first, I looked at it as a curse, but it's actually been a blessing, because he's been using that experience to help other women, especially men too, but especially women. So at Mpulse Summit, I'm super, super excited to be talking about repositioning, getting back to that rightful place that you're supposed to be in, actually that rightful place that God wants you to be in. So make sure you come to the class, because you don't want to miss it. Sometimes we run our businesses, we're on autopilot, we're on go, 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 but we don't take the time to really sit back and say, you know what, something is not right. I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm not getting any different results. And sometimes it just takes that little shift of repositioning to get the results that God needs you to get, because now you're on another level, and you have to go through some things, right?
That's it.
But I think sometimes even in the beauty industry, we get stuck. We
Yeah.
really get stuck. So come into my class. You're really going to learn about repositioning. I'm super excited. And I know sometimes it seems like it's the same message over and over again, but I'm bringing some new sauce. So
I
make
love
sure
it.
you're there.
I love it. So I'm gonna say this to Joe, and then I'm gonna say this to Mr. Michael, and I'm gonna just say this right here, and I want y'all to fill in the blanks on where you say it. So I wrote down in my journal because I am a journalist, right? I like just writing things down, my thoughts, my ideas. I want all of you all to expound on what I'm about to ask you. I wrote down old ways won't open new doors. Joe, how you feel about that? Old ways won't open new doors.
Absolutely. That is a fact. You cannot do the same thing and try to expect something differently. That's basically insanity. In order for you to get to a new place in life, you got to do something you ain't never done before. We walk, I drive the same way to work every day. But if I want to see something different, I got to take a different direction. I got to have a different point of view. I have to have a different approach. I have to be willing to listen. I have to be willing to be taught. I have to be willing to be guided. So yeah, always won't open new doors.
I like it.
You have to stay. You have to be on a path of greatness. I've been dealing with the thing of opening new doors lately, and so it's so important. The young lady was saying is that I can't eat late and expect to lose weight. You know what I mean? I cannot eat the cookies and creams and all of those things and want a six pack. So you have to be willing to be challenged. I think that's the thing. Be willing to be a challenge. Be willing to be challenged and be willing and surround yourself around people who will hold you accountable for what you're doing. Write it down. Take a picture of it and look. And at the end of the day, have you brought yourself closer to your goals or have you done some things to push yourself further away? I've become a book reader and I'm not a book reader, but over the past year, I think I've read 5 books in retaining information because I wanted my language to change. I wanted my vocabulary to be different. I wanted my understanding to be different. And so in order to do that, I can't just listen to the radio all day. I have to take a moment and sit down at 30 minutes a day or an hour a day to make a difference in what my aspirations were as an individual. So yeah, always won't open new doors.
So if you are on this live tonight, I want you to listen to every single one of these elite educators and what they're saying to you tonight. I start off with saying old ways won't open new doors, and I'm going to pass this mic on to Mr. Michael Cole to expound on what we are asking. If you are feeling like you are still in the old ways, how are you going to open new doors? Mr. Michael, how you feel about that?
Well, I think that if you don't allow yourself to get uncomfortable, you're not allowing yourself to grow. And I think we can all be scared of discomfort at times in our life. And if we look at some of our heroes from the Bible, God made them uncomfortable during a season of growth, right? I mean, there's nobody that we look up to that was a perfect person in the Bible. It's clear God does wonderful things through broken people, and he makes us better by making us uncomfortable, and it challenges us to grow through that discomfort. And so I think you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's a very, very scary thing to do. And the next thing is, I think that before we embark on major challenges in our life, we have to think about if it's something that we really want.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that really matters to me? And I love what Joe was saying about the six pack, right? I mean, I'm going to be 50 here at the end of the year, right? And so do I like the idea of having a six pack? Of course I like the idea of it. But do I care enough to put the effort into getting it? I don't. I don't. I have a six pack that is so hot, it's on a chest of ice right now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, so I am comfortable in my skin and I'm comfortable that I'm not going to grow in that way. But my word, there are other ways that I'm growing in. My alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning. The first thing I do is I get into my devotional. Then I work out and then I start my day. That is where I'm growing, and that's where I'm getting uncomfortable, and I'm doing things that make myself uncomfortable because there are areas that I am passionate about growing in. Having a six pack just doesn't get there. That's just vanity, right?
Right.
It's in there.
You said it's there. The six pack, it's just hidden. It's
hidden in some ice.
It's all ice. Miss D.
It's too much
I'm
work.
gonna ask you. Right, it's a lot. Then I'm gonna ask you. Old ways won't open new doors. What is that?
I was actually looking in the comment and it says someone was actually reading my mind. She says you don't pour new wine into old wineskin. And you say that all the time. So I actually looked it up a while back to see, because with new wine, as it ferments, it grows and it stretches.
Mm.
Old wineskin has already been scratched and breaks. So you have to put in new wineskin for you to be able to grow. And that's what I see. In order to be able to grow, you have to do new things, come a new way. You can't put that new wine in that old person and expect it not to crack and break. You have to get a new wineskin and put that new wine in it so it can grow and ferment all together.
I like it. Kendra, it's on you. Always do not open new doors.
Old ways, they definitely don't open new doors. As I stated before, subconsciously we think that, and this is not for everyone, but subconsciously we think that we're in the right position and God has already shifted. And how you know that he's already shifted? Because you're getting uncomfortable doing what you used to do, and it's super uncomfortable, and you know that there's something that needs to shift and needs to change, and you're fighting it, but you're
Mm.
fighting it because you're afraid. Fear gets in the way. So the thing is, we have to pray about our fear, right? Because those, like God says, I'm doing a new thing. Don't you see it? A lot of people read that scripture, but they forget at the end of it, he says, don't you see it? I'm doing a new thing in your life.
Yes.
Don't you see it? He's asking you a question. Don't you see it? Right? So we have to pay really close attention to that last part of the scripture. Don't you see it? I'm doing it right in front of you. I've laid the table out before you. Now you have to remove the fear and trust me and walk through, because old ways, you can't walk in new doors with old ways, because what happens is if you walk in new doors with old ways, you'll bring destruction because
Mm.
you'll be unprepared.
I like it.
So
So
that's what I get out of that.
when you all were talking, I heard reposition, reset, reshift, uncomfortable, new, surround yourself, fight. You're fighting with fear, um, and seeing the belief, right? So if we can just talk on this real quick. If you have this key, right, and it used to fit your old house, which a lot of times with education, we feel like, oh, been there, done that. I've been to one educational summit. I've been to this, trade show. I've been there. I've been there. But we're looking at a new key to a new house this year. We're looking at unfolding and opening up doors of belief system. Because God gave us the word believe, he gave it to us for a reason. And when you talk about walking by faith and not by sight, that's believing. And so today, let's talk about, Mr. Michael, we can't use this key to open up the new doors, which is why we are here in Charlotte right now, where we are coming in and we're going to pray over these classrooms, and we're going to sit where a person would sit at that may be broken and bitter. And we want to walk into where the conference is going to be held at, and where they're all white. You got to walk into it. You got to walk and believe it. You got to walk and say, listen, I'm going to walk through this aisle, and I'm going to walk with my eyes closed so that I will know every crevice where a person may be at. And I want to pray for every person that sit in the seats. I want to pray for the people who are going to be there. Mr. Michael, you've been with us. You've seen things happen. You felt things happen. We got a new key. What is that new key that they're going to unlock coming to your class?
Oh man, I think the question is how many different, they're gonna walk away with a set of keys by the time they leave my class. So I'm teaching two classes. I'm working on the four strategies of financial readiness for business owners. And that is the class that catches a lot of people's attention, because we as business owners are too busy running the business to actually come up for air and think about, how am I going to plan my business? What are the things that I'm going to do so that I can exit my business at some point in time? How do I grow my business? What is the risk that I'm accepting by being a business owner that I don't have the time to think about? Just to touch on a few things. The other class I'm going to teach is really one that we get a ton of questions about all the time. And I think it's so important. And candidly, there's so much. This is a topic where there's so much misinformation on social media, and that's on life insurance. And we're gonna just break down the basics, right? We're gonna just do fundamental basics on understanding what life insurance is, why do you have it, what are the different kinds, who should I get it with, how much should I get, what is it realistically going to do for me? Because unfortunately, there are too many salespeople out there, and there are too many Instagram videos that are pushing it as a magical elixir that's going to make you instantly wealthy. The only people that get instantly wealthy with life insurance are your beneficiaries when you die.
That part. Right.
So I love it. It's a phenomenal tool to have in your financial plan, but it's got to be designed the right way. And there's got to be reasonable expectations, right? Just like with a trust. And I'm sorry, I'm getting on a bit of a soapbox. Just give me 30 seconds. People think because I have a trust, I'm rich. A trust doesn't make you rich. It's just like a bank. You could start a bank, but if there's no money in it, it ain't much of a bank. So you got to actually invest into these tools, whether it's a trust, whether it's investments, whether it's life insurance, whatever it is, you still have to put money into it. You still have to make deposits into it for it to work. Just like if you want to grow, you got to make deposits into yourself if you're going to grow. You can't just say, hey, I'm this thing. I'm a tree. Yeah. Oh, where are my leaves? But I'm a tree, right? So you gotta actually deposit into it. You gotta put it in fertile soil. You gotta water it. You gotta fertilize it. I'm off my soapbox.
I like it.
Maybe.
No, I like it. No, you're right, because as I'm looking at it, a lot of times we're walking into an industry where a lot of people don't understand the levels because of the lack of communication.
Yeah.
The lack of being able to talk about it uncomfortably. Joe, what is that? Uncomfortable.
Man, the uncomfortable space is growth, period. If this key doesn't fit this house anymore, obviously I'm not designed to live there anymore. And the more I try to live there, the more I'm going to be stranded or abandoned. So for me, those new keys would be understanding what you're really worth, confidence in what you're doing. A lot of times I've watched young stylists, they'll do a magnificent hairstyle and then they mumble what the price is. So they'll definitely take away another level of confidence and or pricing when they leave the class for myself. And so it's okay for those keys not to fit. I was telling my mom was talking to me a while back and she was like, well, you used to do this. I said, you're right, Mom. Yes. I said, you used to live on Wellesley too, but if I go over there and knock on that door and ask for you, they're going to say she don't live here.
Right.
So
I like it.
You don't live there anymore. So it just positions people you have to be forced to grow. One of the books that I was reading, it was talk about the dream maker. And a lot of times in that aspect, we get so uncomfortable, we go back to what's familiar. And in those spaces of familiarity are there people like that had a dream, but they were too afraid to reach it. But you're the one person in the circle that's going outside of an area to be familiar, but now it's a little uncomfortable. So you kind of look back. So when they walk into my class, they're gonna walk out with a stronger level of confidence, another level of self-worth. And you have to build up on that. I can't give it to you. You have to want it, but I can share what it takes. Just watching stylists say, hey, how much is this? And they looking at me, well, how much is it worth? I know how much I cost, so helping build young people for their self-worth. And that's going to go into their own personal life as well. Because once you worth this for that, you should be worth that for this. And so all of those things play a major part of understanding what your self-worth is. As a stylist, just recently, I'm very transparent. I did a color service, Miss D. I did the color service, and the color service was great. I charged that lady $220. And she said, that's all?
That's all.
Don't you hate to hear those words?
Listen. And I was like, oh my goodness. It was like, that's all? So, I mean, again, being transparent. the lady gave me another $125. Okay, that's just but I learned from that lady on, I learned another level of worth for myself. So you're not coming in, for less than, you know what I mean? So again, I think that every stage in our lives, we learn another level of self-worth. Mr. Michael Cole, like you were saying, a lot of times people are afraid to have health insurance or life insurance or mutual funds because they think it costs a lot of money. No, you're not knowledgeable. And instead of just assuming, we just say, well, I can't afford that. Well, if you just afford McDonald's 3 times this week, you can afford this today.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean? What are you really spending your money on that's really not worth what you're spending your money on? Okay, well, you can drive this car, but you want that one. But if you say, I'm going to drive this one and sacrifice for the future of my children or for myself, this car don't really look that bad, do it?
Yes, right.
You know what I mean? A lot of times we get stuck with image. And your image got you broke. And I've been there. So I'm not, I'm still gonna be clean. Let's not go too far now.
Right.
We still gonna,
we got you, Joe. We got you, Joe.
But a lot of times in our profession, we get so stuck on image. You know how many pretty and handsome people out there standing there broke?
Yes.
Oh, guess what? You got to change your life. You change your mindset, you change your life. Perspectives just have to be different. So those are just some of the things that they'll take. That place is going to be so full with talent, information that it's not going to be starving for education. But to piggyback on Ms. D as well is that there are going to be people. There's some broken people there. It's way beyond hair and all of those things. There's going to be some spots in that place where I can see people going to be laying some hands and praying for people because they just wanted to be in a space that they know that there's a spirit of a living God in a place. In a place right now that you can't find God on social media for real. So those are the things that I'm just looking forward to.
I love it. So Kendra and D, I'm gonna do that old keys. Now we unlocking new doors. D, how you feel about that and what you're going to be able to give individuals as a new key? And I always tell people it's bigger than hair.
Much bigger.
So if you're coming to Mpulse Summit saying, I want to learn hair, yes, amazing. I want to learn, but it's bigger than hair because just what you all shared on the screen tonight, if y'all were taking notes like I did, you're going to see a lot of changes. The old keys, new place.
Well, first of all, I would like people to look at color as not a one-time service. Color is something that you expand on and you grow with. So when a client is coming in to get color, we need to consultate with them, first of all, to see where they're coming from. And then we need to set them up on a regimen to make sure that they get the treatments and everything they need to maintain that color. I hear so many people say all the time, well, I don't want color because it made my hair fall out. Nah, it didn't make your hair fall out. You not knowing what you did made that hair fall out. Mm-hmm. So what we need to do as professionals is to make sure our clients understand there's a relationship between you and I about your hair and color. Teaching a cosmetologist that one cell for that day of doing that color surface is not all that you need to give your clients. You need to make sure they maintain their hair at home by selling the proper retail items. You need to make sure that they keep those protein treatments, those things in the hair for those return visits when they come back in. So that way you won't just see them that one time and then you see them a year later, they won't color again and the hair all tore up and you try to do something with it. So we want to make sure that we expound on making sure we give them good services when we do color, not just for the day, and then you see them 2 weeks later, you hide because all their hair gone. We want to make sure that we help to build that clientele of color by keeping that hair healthy, keeping that hair growing. Also, we have to remember, as cosmetologists, barbers, and anybody behind the chair, we are in a line of ministry. And the thing that I like about Mpulse is that it is actually based on a ministry. So when we go there, we're not just going to learn the skills set to work behind that chair, to create our clientele, to keep our clientele, but we're also learning the skills that we need to minister to our clients when they're in there, because we all do it. We're all counselors, and we have to have somewhere to get our counseling from. And Mpulse, it's there. And not only do they give you a new key, they actually walk with you through that door, put that key in that lock to help you unlock what you need to go forth in your career by giving you the correct keys for the time. Anything that you want, It's there that weekend. You just have to be able to pull your key out and go into that door that's meant for you and open it, because Impulse is supplying all those needs. And on the color class, we're going to make sure that you get the right keys for the right combination for the right lock to unlock your future. And also, I want to expand on what Joe said, because a lot of people, when it comes to the color world, they do not get their worth. And we want to talk to you about how to get your worth and confidently get your worth, because color takes a lot of expertise. Sometimes color takes a lot of product, and we need to get what we're worth with the color. In our industry, one of the most scientific portion of our industry is color. So once you get that understanding, you are on the level where you are a scientist. My clients say all the time, you look like you're in a lab when you're mixing up color. Well, I am. And you're going to make sure you have a credit card to help supplying that labs. And we have to make sure that we have the confidence to be able to do that. And another thing that we do as cosmetologists and barbers is that we count other people's money. We don't want to go in and charge people because, well, she's got 4 children. But let somebody come in there with a pair of red bottoms
Beyonce.
selling. They will go
Oh,
in and you will buy them in a minute. And they will, their clients will buy them in a minute. But we have to stop counting their monies. That's why we do consultations, because before they come in, I need to let them know if they need to have their credit card or if they need to have cash. And if they can't afford what I'm actually giving them, then we can alter their services to give them what they can afford. But I don't want to bring myself down not to get what I should achieve as far as a cosmetologist, just because I think someone else does not have the funds to take care of that. So we need to make sure that we go through and understand that it is a business first. Yet we love it. It is a ministry. But in the bottom line, I think I heard someone say on your last live that in the bottom line, we do want our bank accounts to increase also. Even though we love what we do and we're transferring the feeling, we do want to make sure that we have a good feeling when we go to the bank too.
I like it. Kendra, what you've been saying is the word re, right? And I'm going to just go back here. Re means again. So when we think about it, regain, reposition, renew, now you rekeying yourself like a digital key. What is that? The rekey, because now you can reset it. You
That's
can rekey something. So you can have the same padlock with a different code.
I love it.
What kind of code are you bringing with the re?
Ooh, I love it. So, what I didn't mention before, what I'm bringing is getting to the root. So, I'm bringing a couple of things. So, let me just name them really quickly. Getting to the root, minding your mind. Okay, we're going to be talking about minding your mind. That's minding your thoughts, because most times we're not where we need to be, or we're not rekeying or repositioning because of our mindset, right? I'm also going to be sharing with you how to have a personal brand. It's beyond colors, beyond logos, beyond flyers, all that good stuff. But what's in you? How you have gotten to the root? How you have minded your mind? Because see, we like. I think somebody mentioned it earlier. We like the external stuff. We like to be seen in certain ways. But what's inside of you? Are you going to reposition yourself? Or are you going to end up back in the same place that you were last year? You look good on the outside, right? You look good with your new brand and things on the outside, but are you changed within? Do you have a new identity, right? So what we're going to be talking about within the repositioning is getting to the root. That's number one, because we can't reposition, we can't have a new identity, we can't create a new personal brand, a new profile, we can't create our brand story if we do not get to the root. There are certain traumas that has happened in our childhood, there are certain traumas that has happened maybe in our industry, in our homes, in our personal lives. And because we are kinesthetic people, we just, we hands on, and we just like to keep moving, and we keep moving, and we surpass all of those things that could possibly bring us back to square one. So, number one,
Mm.
we're going to be talking about getting to the root, minding your mind, and then creating your personal brand from within. And a bonus that I'm going to be teaching them is how to write and tell your brand story. I have some great tools for them to how to tell your brand story. Take that defining moment that happened within your life and create your brand story. Because in order to get forward and create a forward momentum in your business, you need a story. Everybody has a story, but everybody does not know how to tell their story to grab attention and to touch the people that they were here to touch. So that's
Right.
what rekeying is for me, just creating that new identity, rebranding your personal brand and just bringing out your personal story, because you don't have to do a whole lot of hoopla and hollering. And yes, content creation is amazing, but when you come authentically you with your brand story, you're going to reach somebody else that someone else could not reach because they were just perfect and trying to get this word right. But when somebody hears your brand story, they hear your heart. So that's the main thing that you're going to walk away with. You're going to walk away with a written brand story. So
I like
that's
it.
the plan.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if you are on this live tonight and you just not getting on, I think you better restart this over and listen to it, especially when we get off. So we have no excuses at Impulse Summit. No excuses whatsoever. Can you take a class by itself for $2.99? You just want to take their classes? We got no excuses. You can take a class, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 48 educators, $2.99 for classes only. No excuses. That's none whatsoever. Then let's say if you want the entire experience, $5.99. If you want to come in and say, I want to go to the all white mixer, and I want to go to the cream and green, where again, we know Mr. Michael say he gonna take that trophy home, all right? If you want to come there and see amazing people like DeMonte, and you want to see Alicia, if you want to see Sam, if you want to see Ashton Moss, we suggest you be at Impulse Summit, VIP seating at Impulse Summit, where we don't just talk about your work, we talk about the investment. So I always tell people, don't ask me how much something is, ask me what is my investment. You are investing in yourself. Mr. Cole as well as Kendra will be at the PPB breakfast. That is the Power Post Breakfast. That means we power into you. That means we plug into you. We have now therapists that's going to be there.
Mr. Michael Cole, question. I know that we have asked individuals what they're going to be bringing to the table, what you're going to be bringing to the table. What are you wanting the attendees that they're sitting on the couch right now saying, I heard about Impulse Summit, but I don't know. What is it that you want them to bring? Because we talked about bitterness and we talked about brokenness. What is it that you want them to bring to Impulse Summit for you especially that you're going to bring and put them back together again?
I want them to bring ears that are open and a heart that's ready to learn. That's it. Like, just be ready to learn and just be able to receive the message with the authenticity and with the love in which it's given, whether it's from me or whether it's from Joe or Kendra or Dee or any of the amazing people that are going to be there. Just come willing to learn and to grow and just grow from there.
I like it. I like it. Joe, what is that you want them to bring to Impulse Summit that you saying, listen, I know what I'm gonna give you, but what I need you to bring is this. Fill in the blank.
Man, they got to bring the energy, man. They got to bring the energy because I got the fire. We just gonna have a real good time. But like Brother Cole said, open mind. You pretty much can't even afford not to be there. Don't meet us there, beat us there. All of us across the country are working hard to bring something, and it's really like about the young people and some of the older people as well, because we get stuck. So my thing was learning from the younger people, their energy, but teaching them a structure. You know what I mean? There's a balance in between. A lot of times we get older, we don't want to be bothered with the younger stylists in that energy, but there's a balance there. We've been standing here for a long time for a reason. And they actually want to, but they have to be taught that it's not just a microwave. It's not just Instagram. I get laughed at because I still pass out business cards.
Yeah, listen,
I still have
boots on the ground.
cards. You know what I mean? I do. I think maybe 3,000 a year. I pass them out because I still like people. Social media is great. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. But I still like meeting people. You have a better opportunity to have a better introduction. Now, if you want to see my social medias on my cards, you can go to it. But really, I just need them to bring the energy, man. We got a lot of fire. It's a lot of education. I see my homegirl from Detroit coming. Jazz Black is coming.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be just a bunch of fun, man. I can't wait. This Kendra lady though, you are like so spiritually like strong.
Yeah.
I can feel you through the computer. You have like a lot of stuff. The passion in which you speak in your voice is so strong. So I'm just going to tell you that I can feel the life changing in your voice. And even though you're in Miami and we out here in Detroit, it's a little warm out here, but it's not Miami.
Trying to make y'all jealous. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just wanted to, I can feel it like, there's an anointing in your voice when you speak. And so I just can't wait, man. I'm like, I'll be honest, I need this.
Yeah.
I got
so many other educators saying the same thing. They're like, I cannot wait to sit in Mr. Michael Cole class. I can't wait to see it in Zan class. I cannot wait. Like, we need it. Yeah. If you are sitting there and you are second guessing yourself, right, Kendra? And you second guessing whether you need to be in the seats where Mr. Michael Cole gonna drop those dimes on D and Joe, and you're gonna drop those. If you are second guessing yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice. And me personally, I gotta treat myself right. So Kendra, again, what is that you want them to bring to you?
Repeat that one more time.
What is it? I know what you're going to be bringing to Mpulse Summit. What do you want people to bring to you?
I want people to bring off their authenticity. Take off the mask. Because when you come into an environment like that, like, you can't be pretending. You just got to come as you are. Like, whoever you are, wherever you came from, whatever, just bring it. Because we can't get help if we always got our mask on, right? So I need you to bring your authenticity. I need you to bring who you are. If you got to cry, if you got to laugh, if you got to say, hey, sis, hey, bro, bring that. Because that's the only way you'll be able to get what you need. Because if you leave out there the same way that you came in, that's your fault. That's it.
That's your fault.
That's your fault.
That's it. D, you already said what you're going to be bringing to the table. What is it that you want people to bring to you?
I want them to bring, as everyone said, an open mind. I want them to bring an open heart. And as my bestie says, bring in an open mouth, because a closed mouth does not get fed. And at Mpulse Summit, we will not only be feeding you spiritually, all our events will feed you good too there too, but you have to be willing to open your mouth and ask the questions, and we're there to answer those questions for you. Not just, again, the people who are instructing, but even the attendees are very good with opening and helping others. So the three things I want them to bring to my class is an open mind, an open heart, and an open mouth.
Thank you. And Mr. Michael, I just want to say this. Thank you for investing in Mpulse Summit. Every year you pour back into us, and you've done it again, and we appreciate you. Y'all look forward to seeing him on the stage at the PPV. Y'all look forward to seeing him in the classroom. Look forward to seeing him at the all white up in the founders toasting. Be for just the cream and green, because I don't know what he's going to bring this year, but be forward to looking for individuals like Kendra that's going to be on that stage of the platform. And I don't know, Frenchie, can I walk around? Because I don't think I'm gonna walk around a little bit, just show y'all a little, because we at the home off. Wow, we're gonna make some people jealous. If you are second guessing, right, Mr. Cole, if they thinking about it, because they got that stinking thinking, all things are possible if you believe, right? Mr. Cole, tell them what they need to do. No excuses. Tell them. If they second guessing.
No excuses. Go to impulsesummit.com. Sign up. That's
no
it.
excuses. That's it.
No
so I'm gonna walk
excuses.
around for a minute. I'm gonna walk around for a second, and y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm on my phone because we did this quick. We are here at the home office, and I'm gonna start from way back here. I don't even know how to flip this camera around, but I'm gonna do this. Just do this.
Well, Mitch, while you walk a little bit, can we make sure that we invite our future professionals? All our future professionals, we have classes set up specially for you all so y'all can come and have a safe space to speak. We have classes for all those who are in school and who are looking to graduate and to get information from the industry. So I did my little spiel. I'm going to let Mitch have her fun.
So tell her. So Harrison.
I am I'm here for y'all.
See, that's Harrison. So listen, this is just a little bit about what we're going to see, because I don't know how to flip this camera around. All right, Harrison, right? So this is going up to, now see this beautiful, beautiful stairway right here. We told you that we are in new. We got new keys, right, Harrison? And we are unlocking new doors. So Frenchie trying to hide, there go Frenchie right there. You know how to flip it. Oh, that's going that fast. So here, you're going to see classrooms. You're going to come down the hallway. See, Mr. Cole? You know, I'll show you where your classroom is going to be at Kendra and all that. So here, we're going to have exhibitors. And here, we have our legends room. We have, here, different office spaces that we're going to be here. You're going to keep coming in. So y'all see we're excited. We're showing you things. We got where you're going to be coming in for registration. Over in this area here. Y'all see all this space coming around? Right, new. We got classrooms.
All throughout my earpieces, but there's a devil trying to use this. So we got it all the way around, classrooms all the way down in the hallway, right? Another classroom. These are our smart rooms here. Classroom here. Then we have more classrooms on this side. And I'm still walking, I'm out of breath. Come on, here. We got where the ballroom. I want you to see this. This is what the outside looks like here. This is what we're talking about, setting up for you and for our all-white event out on the green. So we got more classrooms. That's a smart room there. So this whole area is going to be where we're setting up for the conference, for the cream and green, for the power panel breakfast. That's going to be our office space. And then we have out here, because I don't want to get locked out. If you get locked out, come get us. So here's the all white with a hint of blue. And come Deborah, come get us, and we get locked up. So y'all see, we got all this, everything new, right here. North Carolina for Mpulse Summit again. We need you here. I'm out of breath. We need you here for that. So just imagine yourself in your all white with a hint of blue out here. Just imagine yourself being here. Mr. Cole, get your white together. Kendra, get your white together. Get your all blue. Just get ready, because it is going down in a major way. So this is where the MIM is going to be in. That is the industry mixer for Mpulse Summit. So again, you'll see all of this space. That's on us. That's us. That's what we're doing. We're doing big. God said, think bigger and better. So just imagine where Jada and all the groomers, as well as Dreadlock Diva, is going to be performing right out here and on the corridor. Just imagine yourself as an exhibitor coming out to the Mpulse Summit all white event. Okay, we got the Founders Toast that's going to be right here on the grounds of the UNC Marriott. So I don't know what I made y'all think about it, but we telling you, don't think about it. Don't meet us there. Beat us there, because God already did. So again, classes only. If you just want to take classes only, $299. $299. If you just want to say, hey, I want to be in all these classrooms, I want to do all the things that we need you to do, right, Frankie?
Right. We're waiting to see you in September.
We're waiting to see you. We got almost 30 days until. So again, come join us. Y'all hear that echo? New, everything new. Y'all know we like that. But anyway, it has been an amazing, bring the people back up on the screen so we can see them. It has been amazing to have these elite educators with us today. Mr. Michael, thank you again. Joe, thank you again. Kendra, thank you again. D. Clay, thank you again. And y'all know what we say. September, everything is new. Bring your key. Unlock the doors, because these elite educators that's on this screen right now, they're ready for you. They've been ready. They've been writing down notes. They've been taking notes and everything. So again, we are so amazed at what's going to happen. Proud sponsors. We have Miss Kai Smith. Look forward to seeing her in the building for Mpulse Summit. AT&T proud sponsor as well for us. Y'all see I'm out of breath this place here. And so then we're definitely going to be looking forward to what we're going to Pastor Major Jones for our Sunday Post event. That's going to be early because this is a faith-based summit and he is going to bring it. We have for the release, Prophetess Siobhan Smith. So when I tell you, as Chastity just said, do I get stuck? Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't meet us there. Beat us there because God already did. And when I tell you this, I love you, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Invest in yourself. Put your page, put your products, put your services inside of our digital magazine. You can do that so you can be seen on the screen through the all white, the cream and green. Let me tell you, we taking notes. We ain't taking no prisoners. We are arresting everybody who come up against us. So I'm gonna let you know right now. Don't meet us there. What we say, beat us there because God already did. Y'all have an amazing evening and we'll go live again tomorrow. Thank you so much.